Earlier this week, Edgar B. Herwick III went in search of a public restroom in downtown Boston. He found only one working toilet. And in order to get in, he had to borrow a mysterious token from some North End regulars. Following our report, the city said all but one of the toilets were now in working order, so Edgar went back to see for himself.
Following our report this week about public bathrooms in the hub, we caught up with Peter O'Sullivan, the official in charge of Boston's city toilets.
As of today, I was around today. All of them work today.
So you're saying today that 7 out of the 8 were working?
Yes.
Today, we went back out to see how they were holding up. This one on Boylston, which had been out of order earlier this week, worked like a charm. An encouraging start. The toilet in the North End, the only one that had been working in our first report, was still working, 2 for 2. As we arrived, John Coviello of Woburn was just about to venture inside.
It's very smelly, that's one thing, but otherwise it's pretty decent.
In fact, it was much cleaner today than it was earlier in the week. But the rest, from City Hall Plaza to Dry Dock Avenue to Shipyard Park, were once again out of working order. At the New England Aquarium, we met Allison, who has worked at a kiosk there for 2 months. She has a bird's eye view of a city toilet that has been described as one of the most used toilets in the world.
I see people every day trying to put their money in, and the door never opens. So, welcome to Boston, I guess.
We should have listened to her. There was one bright spot, though. While the city toilet on Atlantic Avenue didn't open, it did return our quarter. And with it, a bonus.
Well, we made a quarter. Somebody else tried it, and they didn't get their quarter back, so now we're up a quarter.
Money in our pocket, but unfortunately, it's not the last quarter that will be lost today by someone in search of a working toilet.
And Edgar B. Herwick III is here. So did you talk to the city again today and say, hey, we went back, they're not working?
I let them know. I mean, the real insight came when I talked with Peter O'Sullivan yesterday. Now, he's the guy who's in charge of this coordinated street furniture program. And he explained some stuff which we couldn't get an answer to earlier in this week, which was, frankly, that there's a company called J.C. Ducot, and they are responsible for maintaining these toilets. The way it works is that they bought the contract from this company, Wall, that built them. And the way it's supposed to work is that they maintain them. They get all of this revenue from advertising. And it should be mentioned that there's ads, in all of these toilets. And so they get revenue from the advertising. They give a cut of that revenue to the city. And then in return for what they're making, they're supposed to keep them up and running. Now, it's supposed to be a win-win-win, right? It's a win for J.C. Ducot because they make some money. It's a win for the city of Boston because they get these toilets and somebody's taking care of them. And it's supposed to be a win for the people who get to use toilets. The problem is that they're just not working. So, he said, Peter O'Sullivan, and I believe him, he said, look, he's basically a department of one, and he's working at this, he says, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. He's working with the people from J.C. Ducot. They have people who are supposedly maintaining them all the time, but there are all these challenges. First of all, they were made in Germany. So if they break, oftentimes they got to get a part from Germany shipped back over here in order to put it in to fix them. I mean, they're really, you see them, they're really complicated. You put a quarter in, the doors open automatically, there's music that comes on, there's automatic sinks, there's this automatic cleaning thing. So with all of this complication, they just seem to be breaking down all the time.
But Edgar, I mean, beyond that, this is a boondoggle. Because in the end, people, by the way, they're taking people's quarters.
Yep. And I mean, that's definitely happening.
But earlier in the week, you were just feeding quarters. And so they don't care about giving people their money back. They are making money on this.
They are.
And there's no place. You were out today with a producer. And went to all these bathrooms.
We ended up having to use a toilet to use the restroom because none of them were working.
You had to go to a hotel.
We did. Yeah. We did. We had to go to a hotel. I mean, it's a tough situation because, on the one hand, I absolutely sympathize with this. I mean, these things are clearly not working the way they're supposed to, and so they need to be maintained more than they should, and so it's hard for them to keep up. Certainly, this guy, Peter O'Sullivan, who's working as hard as he can, and he stressed, he said, look, they have a strong relationship with J.C. Ducot. I've tried to get in touch with somebody at J.C. Ducot. We called them today. I got somebody on the phone who promised they were going to try to get somebody who's in the know there to give me a call back, because the thing I want to understand is, I mean, they're clearly making money, and the city's making money. The city's made over $16 million in revenue on the length of this program since 2001. That's good. That's great that the city's making money on these. But my question is J.C. Decaux really putting the resources into it that they need to put into it in order for it to be maintained?
And also, we should say that this is a contract.
Yep.
And 2 more of these bathrooms are going to be put up. Now,
right.
if it's a disaster after they've constructed these 2 and the contract runs out, then they're just going to take them down and the whole thing's going to go away.
That's right. By 2026, there will be 2 more of these put in. In all likelihood, it seems that they're going to put 2 of the exact same kind of toilets in, which seems crazy because I think that we know that they don't work the way that they should. And so 2 more are going to go in. And like you said, if the city of 2026 comes and they don't want to renew this contract, the city's never going to take this on because they know it's a headache. So it's a pretty difficult situation. You sort of feel like the thing that I keep coming to is if these were just regular bathrooms, not state-of-the-art anything, nothing fancy, nothing automated, it seems like you could still have advertising revenue, and it would be a lot easier to hire just a simple person or a simple mechanic to be able to keep them up and not have to get parts shipped in from Germany, not to have somebody who's a specialty on automated toilets come in. It doesn't seem worth it.
It's a boondoggle. All right, Edgar B. Herwick III. Thanks. That is it for Greater Boston. Tomorrow on Beat the Press, bowing at the feet of Bill Belichick. Some sports reporters took a tough position before Belichick's press conference, but the swooning began right after. And Royal Ruckus is the birth of a British prince worth wall-to-wall coverage on this side of the pond. That's tomorrow on Beat the Press. I'm Emily Rooney. Thanks for watching.